Hello and welcome to another Betfred Sports video right here in the Quest Media Network studio. Peter, the big issue this week is the collapse of the European Super League. It was always going to happen though, wasn't it, given the backlash?
Well, it's not quite over yet, you know. I mean, it's over in this country, I'll give you that. But it didn't really get started, did it? I mean, 48 hours, one massive shock Sunday night. And then by Tuesday, it's virtually gone. It was incredible how the greedy owners capitulated so quickly. I mean, there was protests at Chelsea, wasn't there? There was all the anti-feeling in Manchester against the Glazers, which has been going on for years, and then lastly against the Abu Dhabi owners for going along with it. Then we got this nonsense of people trying to claim they were first to pull out of it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they shouldn't have got it in the first place, of course, should they? But I'm so pleased it's all over in this country. I see that Barcelona and Real Madrid are sticking with it and saying, and Juve, and saying, oh, we'll try and revive it in some way. But it's not going to be revived in this country, that's for sure, because the government are even bringing in new rules, aren't they?
I mean, you say it's not over yet, but you can't have a league with just 3 teams, can you? It's pointless.
Well, you could have a league on the continent without us, but then it wouldn't be the European League, would it? But we're not in Europe anyway now, are we? Because we've pulled out Brexit. Don't get me on that one.
Yeah, let's not go into that right now. But I mean, you look at the backlash from supporters. Do you feel that owners have come under too much criticism from fans, or what's your opinion of it?
I think they fully deserved the criticism they got. It was a pathetic decision, ill thought out, it was greedy, it proved that they're out of touch with the fans in this country, and particularly in Manchester. We don't want some kind of franchise, we don't want a soccer league with franchises where it doesn't matter. These matches this week wouldn't have mattered, because when City played against Villa, then it wouldn't have made any difference at all, because Aston Villa weren't going to play in Europe, so what's the point? And what's the point of getting in the top 4? City would have already qualified for Europe under the old franchise soccer league, and then they would have. So they might put reserves out. It's just absolutely ridiculous from the word go, and it's no wonder that any normal thinking football supporter, I almost said soccer there, in this country from whatever age, was vehemently against it. And if there had been crowds in the stadiums that they'd have been allowed, then there would have been uproar, absolute uproar. One of the maddest things I've heard is when the Real Madrid chairman says that kids are no longer interested in football.
Yeah, it's a weird one,
Why don't you do something about it? Why don't you make it free, or £5 to get in?
But I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true anyway. I mean, where's he come up with that from?
Well, he's just coming in with some excuse to try and justify this monstrous decision that they've come up with between them. You've got to do something about it. Make it cheaper for the kids. People are getting priced out of football. Even at the Etihad and Old Trafford, it costs a fortune for a season ticket. And then as for the food prices, my God, I remember at Main Road, you could go in there, you could have a pie and an OXO for £2 or less. You try and how much do you think you get for £2 at Old Trafford or at the Etihad? They're even ripping them off there. A pork scratching. Or what they do now, they sort of say a meal deal, and you get a huge bag of crisps and like a Twix or something and a drink, and that costs you about £5. So they're ripping fans off all the time. You look at Old Trafford, it looks like it's falling down now. You have this huge leak, it's rusty outside. They could be opening all that up and having like the Old Trafford experience or the United experience. There's all that open land. They're just not interested. They just want to take the money, send it off to Florida and get on with it as they see it. And the fans just go along with it. Well, they're not now, because they've seen how the fans' power can influence things. And this is going to act as a catalyst for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And just very quickly, given the work that City's owners have done, not just for the club since they took over, but for the area in general, do you think that all that work's been undone, given the past few days?
I think they've got to do a lot of work now to get the fans back on side, because it's exactly true. The Abu Dhabi owners are different. They're not American, they're not necessarily into franchises, but they went along with it. They were badly advised. I'm looking for the fall guys now because they won't blame themselves for making that mad decision. There's got to be people who've got to be dumped along the way, vis-a-vis Ed Woodward. But that work is tremendous what City have done. They've revived that area of Manchester. I remember what it used to be like. It used to be a decrepit engineering. The engineering industry died in this country. And it was a wasteland. Well, it's not now, and that's down to them. But why did they do this? Because it goes to the heart of the heritage of football in this country.
Does it not go to show, though, that they are completely different from the normal supporters, the people that pay the money to get a season ticket or anything just to do with the club? Has it shown a different side to them, do you think?
Well, those people are in the minority because otherwise they would have pushed through this ill-thought-out plan for the European Super League. The majority are still, thank heavens, earthy Mancunian people who want to watch their team play attractive football and hopefully win things. But most football fans would accept that their team isn't necessarily going to win everything every year. That would be boring, wouldn't it? That would be like in Scotland with Celtic and Rangers. Well, we don't want that. No. We want a bit of a change. You know, Liverpool have slipped this year, haven't they?
Yeah.
City have carried on and they've got likely to get the title back. United middling. But that's how we want it. We want it different because that's how football is.
Yeah, a bit of excitement, and we'll move on to City's EFL Cup final against Tottenham taking place on Sunday very shortly. But for the time being, Peter, we've got Leeds United taking on Manchester United at Ellands Road on Sunday as well. What odds have you got for us for this game?
Well, this going on from what we were saying before, this would have been the sort of game where there'd be protests because Leeds supporters would justifiably be able to have a pop at United for thinking they're so superior and they're a top 6 team. Hopefully the heat will have gone out of that now and they can get on with the football. But United naturally are odds-on favourites to win that game. Leeds are 3-1. Cavani, who's come out again, the rumblings are he's not going to stay next year, which is a great shame. He's 4-1 to score the first goal, along with Fernando. He's 4-1. Bruno's that as well. Fernandez and Rashford. He's 9-2 to score the first goal. The title odds are, if you're interested, 1 to 500 for City, 11 points clear now. United 66-1. Top four's getting very interesting. Isn't it great how Leicester have got into third place?
Last night,
the team that isn't a top 6 team, now third, they're 2 to 7 to get a top 4 finish. They're rapidly becoming everyone's second favourite team for continuing to battle against the odds. Similarly, West Ham, they're 100 to 30 for a top 4 finish. Chelsea 11 to 10. Liverpool 10 to 11. Spurs 8 to 1.
Excellent stuff. So as I mentioned then, it is Tottenham v City in that EFL Cup final on Sunday. It's the big one, Peter. It's a chance for City to claim the first piece of silverware this season. What odds have you got for me for this one?
Well, City are odds on to win that game. It's a case with a lot of our punters at Betfred. How they win it. To win on penalties is 16-1. City to win both halves is 3-1 at Betfred. I personally think he'll bring Aguero back as part of his hurrah at the end of the season. Actually, I don't think they should sell Aguero. I don't. Well, not sell him. They didn't let him retire. They should make the most of an excellent asset. They have not replaced him. Jesus isn't the finished article by any stretch of the imagination. So if unless they get Kane or Haaland, why not stick with Aguero? My boss Fred Dome reckons that Aguero should go to United. He wouldn't do a bad job there.
No.
Anyway, Aguero's 3-1 to score the opener, and Kane is the favourite naturally. 9-2 to score the first goal. We're 4-1 at Betfred. There's a red card. City treble. That's becoming popular now after they got the bloody nose in the FA. They're 2-1 to do that. City to win to 0 is 6-4 at Betfred.
So City go into that game on the back of a 2-1 win at Aston Villa midweek. They had to come from behind in that one to get the 3 points. What did you make of that performance, and do you think it bodes well for this final on Sunday?
Yeah, I think it was a game they had to win as part of the campaign to win back the supporters who've been disaffected by you know what. So I thought they did well. I like the way Foden's blossoming into a truly world-class player.
Yeah, he is.
he's probably ahead of Sterling now. He's not perhaps ahead of De Bruyne yet. I think it's significant if De Bruyne does come back against Tottenham, proving one of his former clubs they were wrong about him in the first place. So I think it's looking highly likely that City will get the first piece of silverware. But the fourth time on the run that they've won the League Cup.
Yeah, they certainly do well in that competition. And just finally, Peter, any big winners this week at Betfred?
Yeah, we had a guy from Newcastle. He's won 76,000 from, believe it or not, a £2.50 bet. That was on the Irish Lottery. He's one of our customers up in Newcastle. I spoke to James Edwards there, and he was telling me that it was random choice why he picked those particular numbers, and then he's going to spend his new fortune on a trip to Russia. He's also going to renovate his house. He's going to basically double the size of his house. He's a builder, so he'll be able to save a bit on that. He's going to pay off some of his mortgage, and then he's off to Russia on his holidays. He wants to go there because he's a backpacker, and that's one place he's not been to.
Excellent stuff. Well, that could be you, but you have to be in it to win it. And if you do fancy your punt on any of the fixtures this weekend, you can now go to Betfred stores. They've got safety provisions in place, but you can also bet from the comfort of your home, online and via their app.